and welcome to The Drift. I'm your host, Sierra Goodwill. In 1934, Ernest Hemingway commissioned Howard E. Wheeler and the Wheeler Shipyard to build the most famous fishing boat of all time, a 36-footer named Pilar. Today, the grandson of that iconic boat builder is continuing the tradition of wooden boat building excellence. This time on Boat Build, John Methia pulls into Newport, Rhode Island and meets the builder for a tour of the spectacular Wheeler 38, and it's simply amazing.
This is an exact copy of Ernest Hemingway's Pilar. That boat was built in 1933 by my grandfather, so we're connected to the Hemingway story, which is why we built this boat, because it's one of the more famous boats that we built over the years. We had 4,000 hulls from 1910 until 1965. This boat happens to be the one that's most famous, I think, out of all the boats we built. But she's an exact copy to the inch, except that it goes a lot faster. It's got full technology, it's got big engines, and she runs about 35 knots. She's got all the technology you'd ever want to have. We've taken liberties with the interior. It looks a lot nicer than what Hemingway had. But what you see here in the cockpit is exactly what he had back then.
What's she powered by now, and what was she powered by when
The original was a single-screw Chrysler gasoline 75 horsepower engine, and Hemingway added a small Lycoming 40 horsepower trawling engine. So he had two engines, but it was really a one-screw boat. This has twin Yanmar 370 horsepower diesels, turbo diesels. She'll do 35 knots. Ernest could only do 12. He claims that he did 16, but I don't think so.
What do you love most about the boat?
We love building it, actually. We love building the boat because we found the Brooklyn Boat Yard in Maine. It's decades of wooden boat builders, craftsmen, lobstermen that built really, really solid boats out of solid wood. So the whole boat is wood. It's Douglas fir stringers and longitudinals, mahogany plywood, cold molded, glued, vacuum bagged, and covered with epoxy paint.
You built a replica boat out of wood, which is amazing.
This is a copy. It's all wood, but it's called cold molded wood, which means it's made out of frames that are made out of wood, and then you cover the frames with mahogany plywood. And you glue them together. You vacuum seal them so they get a good bond. You cover that with one layer of fiberglass, and then 4 coats of epoxy paint. That's cold molding, but it's all wood, the whole boat.
Tell me about what's below.
So what's below is not what Hemingway had. It was much, much different. Ernest Hemingway's boat was very simple. Back then they were simple interiors, plywood and painted pieces, ice box, nothing technologically superior. Down here you have a completely modern boat. And so my wife has designed most of the interior. It's all mahogany and Douglas fir. We have air conditioning, we have stereo systems, 2 Wi-Fi systems, a full chart plotter. It's fully tricked out with technology down below.
So there's no faux here, this is all wood.
It's all wood. Everything's wood. It's all 3 woods, mahogany, Douglas fir, and teak. That's it. Nothing else.
Amazing. So tell me a little bit about, was your grandfather?
My grandfather was a designer. He was a naval architect, and his 2 brothers were the business people. My grandfather was a designer. So when Ernest Hemingway showed up at the yard with Pauline, his second wife, my grandfather and his brother was there to sell it to him. And so he bought the boat for $7,455, and he couldn't afford it all. He borrowed half of it from his publisher.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for keeping this alive.
Yeah.
It's great.
You're welcome. No, it's been fun to build, and it's been a lot of fun to run.
So is this hull number 1 of
This is hull
many?
number 1 of many, we hope. Brooklyn Boat Yard will be contracted to do all of our boats, and we're now designing a 55-foot version of this boat, a much bigger version of this boat. But yes, we hope to build more.
Yes, beautiful boat.
It's really amazing when historic design and modern technology combine in a simply beautiful yacht. Find more Boat Build at driftsociably.com and on our social platforms at Drift Sociably.